What's good? Today I want to talk about entitlement and why this generation feels so entitled. A personality characteristic which makes you feel a sense of deservingness or that it's owed to you, rather than practicing this healthy and having an assertive entitlement rather than an excessive entitlement. We have three types, which I said assertive, restrictive is also a form, which is not really doing nothing. Someone who's more, timid, of course, and not even demanding respect, which I would say if you are entitled to demand respect, that's okay. But thinking that everything should be handed to you is something we need to grow out of in maturity. It's that excessive entitlement which can lower intimacy, increase conflict, and just bring dissatisfaction to everyone around you. And if that's a problem in your home life and you are becoming an adult, you're going to have a hard awakening. You need to have confidence in advocating for others' needs and opinions and just letting things be, because people will always have their opinions in your life. It's about how you handle it. An inflated sense of self-importance needs to leave you. Not everything in this world is fair. We are going to have disagreements. It's normal. We will not have special treatment at all times. I think this generation feels entitled because it was enabled by your parents, or possibly you went through neglect and you feel like you went through it so much that you feel like this is what you deserve. And I'm sorry you feel that way. Times are gonna get rough where you don't get what you want, and you're just gonna have to grow up, buck up, and take it as it is. That's the part of being a man, not letting your emotions control you. A lot of times, entitlement can grow into a narcissistic personality disorder. And I think narcissism and entitlement have a lot to do hand in hand. If you have an entitled child, I'd say really think about the life that you've given them and really try to get into their head and not enable things. Don't let them run you, because you run the show. You're the adult here. Now, if you realize that you are entitled, the first step always to any problem is recognizing it. So if you realize that, you're on the first step to greatness. Next, you need to practice gratitude. Be grateful for where you are. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful that you're not out there alone on the streets with nothing and your family kicked you out. Be grateful that you are able to be fed, able to go to sleep on a bed. That's things to be grateful for. Practicing gratitude. Then practice assertiveness. If you're thinking, I've always thought that I deserved everything and you're entitled, you need to fight that. It's all about fighting these problems that we have in our mind and completely changing our lives for the better. We can't stay the way that we are. We can't stay narcissistic. We can't gaslight. We can't feel entitled. We can't be toxic beings, because this world is filled with toxicity. But are you going to change? Are you going to truly be who you know you are in your head? You know that you're not this piece of shit that you're giving out into the world. You know that. And let's say this doesn't help. You try, right? And it's not working. Maybe look for diverse resources and actually research the problems that you're going through and find sources where it will give you different responses and different methods. Now is a point in time where everything is accessible on the internet and you can find the information. You're not in a time hundreds of years ago where you don't know what's going on and you have to listen to one doctor in your one town. You have thousands and thousands of pages and videos that will explain exactly what you're going through. You can't stay this way. You have to just put in that effort. You've acknowledged it. Now what are you going to do? Are you going to keep thinking about this? I'm this way, I don't like it. Or are you going to take action? We can't be restrictive because you can't be unassertive. You need to be assertive, which is the most healthiest way of entitlement. Again, the last way, we cannot be excessive. When things are excessive, that's when there's a problem. And that goes to pretty much anything. If you are in your parents' home and you are entitled, you might go through a rude awakening. And I'm warning you, because when you are left with absolutely nothing, you are going to hate yourself even more than you ever have. You are going to be filled with regret. And a lot of people do go into drugs, and it's sad because they may have not been taught proper human connection growing up. We have to grow out of this regardless of what we've taught ourselves, because school won't teach us human connection. and human behavior and how to love. We unfortunately have to teach ourselves this. Unlearning things takes persistence, and I think you should take it easy on yourself. I don't think you should hate yourself, but I do think that you should put in effort and be disappointed in where you are. There's a difference between disappointment and hate. Your parents are disappointed because you're entitled, but they don't hate you. You see, you're creating this reality thinking that everything that's being said towards you is an attack at you. We must learn from our mistakes as well. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, is literally the definition of insanity. So work on this, and it's going to burn all the bridges that you have, and you will have no relationships in your life anymore with any of the people that you are currently residing with. So work on this. Have any comments, go ahead and leave it. I'll answer any comments, but at the same time, I want you to do the research to try to stop being entitled. Who you are today is not who you will be for the rest of your life. Easy as that. Who I was is not who I am today whatsoever, and I'm proud to say that. So be proud about yourself. These ingrained impulses can be overwritten, and we need to take that step. And honestly, the fact that you may be even watching this video shows that you realize that the way you are acting is childish and immature. And when we get to that point of acknowledgement, like I said, it's just that step we need to take. So go ahead and take that step right now. I think an easy way to keep up with your consistency is to pray for change. Just lay all your worries and all your burdens onto God and pray about wanting to seek consistency. All it is unlearning these negative thought patterns that you've taught yourself in isolation or from learning off of others. And it takes consistency, this decisiveness, this maturity, and this strength that I always mention in my videos, because those are the 4 things, the literal 4 things that is expected of us from God. And that's what makes you a real man or a real woman. And I don't know, I feel like that's gotta be like, I'm gonna put that on a shirt or something and start selling that, because it's facts. Thank you for listening. That's all I gotta say for today.